Morning. I'll still be a little quiet because it's so very early and my significant other is sleeping on the couch. It's probably easier to sleep there than in bed because she got shots in her arm and her arms are swollen. Anyway, that's not really the point. I'm just getting ready now, and I figured now would be a good time to explain what we're doing rather than trying to do it when I'm out there. And I don't think I have too much to say. I didn't, to be perfectly honest with you, feel like getting up and going out and doing this today. But I'm forcing myself to go because it'll be fine. We're going back to the ponds. We were there last month. Was it September? I think so. It's been a bit. And the last time we were there, we did video and we watched gigantic turtles. big snapping turtles, I think, in the water, and some other birds here or there, some waterfowl, and then there's a loose thread on my jacket. I need to trim that. The big bird with the hook beak, and it's white, and it's come on. I see them all over the place. They're specifically there, and they've got like nesting areas for them, and they close parts of the trail so that they're not disturbed and they can do their nesting thing and raise babies. And now it's just gone. It's a bird of prey, large, white.
Osprey. It was an osprey. That's the name of it. The bird. Osprey. Knew I'd think of it eventually.
Anyway, it'll come to me later. That was what we saw last time. Who knows what we're going to see this time? I'm still going to do video again because I just feel like sitting and watching. I haven't done video since the time before that. We've focused more on exploring new areas and doing still photography because that's easier to walk around. But going back there, I'm going to a different spot this time. Instead of facing that way, I'm going to face this way because I saw there were some places the last time, and there's another water area, and there should be some reeds for me to sit in. So that's what I'm doing now. I got all my stuff, my usual backpack with all the things in there, cameras, tripod, and then all the video stuff specifically is in that bag over. Oh, I remember. Oops. It'll be real early when I get there, and I'm gonna have to get set up in the dark. And I needed to check and see if the batteries were still on this. Okay, how do I... Holding it down? There we go. Okay. They're not immediately going out, so that should be fine. I was going to make sure that those batteries were charged. And I need to grab a hat. I need to grab a beanie because I'll be wearing headphones. Headphones and a beanie won't work with this hat. Didn't think about that when I grabbed it last night. Anyway, that'll be what we do there, so let's go.
A little bit of an unexpected part. I didn't think to check to see whether or not the park was open before I came because they usually don't shut them down, but they do, and it is. Parts of it. The road is closed at the main entrance that I've been going to, but I know there's a second one to get to the ponds on the other side, so I had to do a whole big loop around thing and come in from that one, and then I start going down, and there's like some parking areas. I've never been to here before. I've not been to this side of it. This is like the northern side of all the ponds, but there still is a trail there. Well, the trail is closed and the road is closed, but next to the parking area, I think there is some water right here looking at the map, and I'm just going to kind of go scope it out in the dark as best I can and see if it's going to be a spot where I can set up for today, because now I've driven all the way out here and I'd like to do something. We'll see. Maybe this will work, maybe it won't.
Okay. So, let's move back in here for a second. Yeah, they're closed until March because they have to do something with the city sewer line, looking at everything there. And so
The other ponds and some of this place are all closed out and the trails are closed and things. But where I've parked, I'm basically looking at water. I can tell the reflections and everything now that I'm paying attention and looking at a map. Um, there's something there. Now, with everything being closed at the other location, the other parking area, and this place, I already saw some cars parked on the way as I was driving in along the road here. This place is probably going to be busy with people who can still walk the trails that are open. So it's not ideal, but I've committed to it this far. I'm doing this stuff. If I walk a little ways that way, there's a park bench. I'll just set up near that. I'll sit on the bench and record until maybe just an hour, maybe an hour or two. It depends until more people start showing up and it gets crowded and busy. So I got to do something. There are definitely plenty of ducks. I tried my best, but I'm not set up to record at night. Maybe you heard some of it. There's definitely waterfowl on the water. So I'll set up and get some video of that for a bit until it gets crowded, or since I'm just sitting on a bench right there by where everything is, I imagine the audio won't be good, but I don't know where else to go. As far as all the way around, there's nowhere that there are signs saying don't get close to the water, don't get down there, it's closed to, you are supposed to stay up on the trail. So the park bench is the best that I can figure that it is, going to be acceptable and not get me in trouble. But anyway, definitely a change of plans, an unexpected twist here. I'll have to reevaluate and not think about this place until after March. It's going to be a while since they are working on stuff and have closed all the roads and things. Was not aware of that. Anyway. Yep, I'm going to go. I got to load everything up and get headed over there. Alrighty. Well, that was cool. I'll put a mic on here in a second and put it up and talk while I drive. I just realized as I stopped here at a red light, I talked for a good bit there. I put the camera on and started recording the whole time while I was driving and doing the stuff. I put the mic together and just never pressed record on it. So I won't actually have any law of audio. I apologize. I will do the best I can to do the noise cancellation and stuff so it's not just road noise, but it'll probably be hard to hear. Sorry about that. Alrighty. Away we go. So, yeah, that I was very surprised by what happened there, and not so much with the wildlife. I saw some herons, gulls. Can't really see behind me, but I don't think there's anybody there. Herons, gulls, red-winged blackbirds, mallards, plenty of other stuff. It has started picking up and getting a bit busy, which is why I'm headed out. So not the shortest time out, but it's not just that the roads are closed. They have closed like almost all of this park. I guess you can continue. Anyway, they've closed almost all of this park for this city sewers project that's going to take until like March of next year to get everything, I guess, whatever they're doing for that stuff. There goes one of the guys. So, saw that stuff, but what else I saw? There were 4 other people that spread out over the about hour and a half, hour 45 that I was out there. Should get my phone and plug it in. 4 other people showed up, and then as I'm leaving, 5, 6, 7 people just showed up. I guess one of them left. So anyway, lots and lots of 30-minute parking only. Okay, so that's where those cars were this morning. Now, is it going to start playing music? Because if it is, I'm going to talk louder, talk over it, and make sure that it's paused. It was at the end of a song. Cool. Let's see. So yeah, plenty of people. Okay, so there's more parking up here. So there actually were even more people. That must have been the guy with the bike, because that car has a bike rack on it. Cool. Anyway, the 4 people that I saw that showed up before I started packing up to leave all had cameras with telephoto lenses. They're out there taking pictures of birds. I've never seen another I take that back. There was one time in Georgia, one single time, where I happened to go out and I was going to I was going to a place just kind of off by the side of the roads park, and I saw a lady with a young kid who was like trying to show the kid. I don't remember if she had a camera or if she had binoculars, but it was like she was out there and she had a very young child. She was trying to like, look at the birds. The kid wasn't really paying attention, but anyway, it's not something I see very often when I go out. Is actually other people out with cameras doing what I'm doing. It's just not what you usually get, are people out walking their dogs or just out for the nature trail or things like that. It's not something that I'm used to. But, you know, I already draw enough attention with my whole kid and caboodle to just your average people. And then you got people who are actually like, oh, I've got that. So I saw, other cameras, other lenses, things like that. They were all walking around doing still photography, which is what I would be doing if I weren't doing this. But yeah, pretty cool. I did talk with one for a moment, because that was after, another guy came up to me at one point and was like, wow, and said that. But I've got my headphones on, I'm recording the sound, I'm doing all this stuff, so I wasn't going to just drop everything and start having a conversation. I'm also trying to record everything. But yeah, I just a different one who I saw, and that guy who I talked to again as I was getting ready to leave. At that point, I'd taken off my headphones, and he came up and said, "Oh, so is that a sound rig and everything?" I'm like, yeah, I do the video and I get the sound, so I can have it all together with that stuff. And then he talked about how the park was closed. And I asked if there was some kind of event going on, because that's what. As soon as I started seeing more people out here with cameras, and I went, well, this is one of the locations that the Audubon Society of
Boulder mentions. That's how I know of it. So maybe they're all members of the Audubon Society out there. And he was like, no, there's not an event or anything. It's just that with so much of the park being closed, it's like, yeah, it probably funnels everybody into just one location. It's a good spot, and it was fun. He told me he saw some marsh wrens. I don't know if I saw those. I'll have to check all the footage to see what it is. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. I talked to that guy, so he had a Canon lens. I think he had the same one that I have at home. I haven't really been able to use that one much because I've been doing all the Sony stuff now. That Sony lens is pretty sharp, pretty nice. Really happy with that. But anyway, yeah, really cool. Got to go out. It wasn't a super long trip, but it was good for what it was. I watched a heron for a bit, attacking something. I'm not entirely sure what. It was kind of making a fuss and squawking and stuff, and then hitting something in the water, but it wasn't like it was trying to eat it. So I'm not maybe a snake. I'm not entirely sure because maybe it was just mad at a branch. A reed. It was just making a fuss, and then it kind of took off. So I go around. I didn't catch it on camera, but I saw it land on the tree. It's cool. It's really cool when you see giant heron like that up in a tree. It's not where I would expect to see them, but I've seen it a few times now. Anyway, that was it. It was a good time out. It was cool. It's really interesting to see other people out doing similar things to what I'm doing. A piece of granola stuck in my throat from the breakfast I just scarfed down. That'll do it for today. A short trip, but a fun one. I will have to reevaluate. This place is good. There's a lot of people who come here for this purpose as well. It's not the biggest, and so it is like, I mean, I said there were already several people showing up right there at 8:30-ish to start walking dogs and other things and go around. And that's a good time to pick it up. It's plus the golden hour has come and gone, so now the sunlight's starting to get harsh. I'd still get some pretty decent footage out of this right now. It's so pretty out. Fall is definitely hit. I said it last time I came out, but like I'm driving past right now, these great big trees that are just filled with orange leaves. It's really pretty. And the mountain backdrop, the mountains, especially further up, I can see where I can't see where I used to live, but that general direction of mountain range is covered in snow. There are snow-capped peaks already, so they've gotten their first snow of the year, which reminded me of what it was like last year in October when we got our first big snowfall, and I went, oh, okay, so this is what it is. And I think it melted a bit and then came back around, and melted a bit and came back around. I don't remember when it was the last time I wasn't trying to keep track to be like, here's the last time I saw the ground, but I know for sure it's not going to be like that down here off the mountain, because up on the mountain you get to the point where it is snow starts and snow does not stop. It's not constant snow, but the snow, there's not enough to melt it. It's too cold, not enough sun, and there's just so much of it, and there's fresh snow constantly coming that you just get like between 1 to 3 feet, I would say, of snow in certain areas, just constant. So yeah, really cool to see. I'll be really interested to see what it's like down here. The snow will probably limit the amount of places I can go, just because up there I could definitely go out in the snow. It wasn't as much fun going out into several feet of snow and kind of stomping through it, waist deep in some areas, stuff like that. There's an awful lot of cars parked there. Oh, this is that park that okay. Yeah, this is the busy one. That one I definitely won't be able to come to. That's the one that I turned around at some point. Yeah, there's like 30 people. I wonder if there's an event there, or if that's just a normal amount. Whew. That was the one time where I think the first time I came out to this location, I was just kind of driving around here and I saw that and went, oh, there's a park, and I was turning around and there talking and doing recording of some kind, and some people were like, oh, here, I'll leave. They were like talking in the parking lot. They're like, I'll leave, you can have my spot. And I'm like, no, I'm just here. I'm just looking. Bye. Just turn around and leave. But yeah, it's gorgeous. Wow, big water area there, but I don't think you can publicly access that. Definitely not anywhere to walk around it. Yeah, there's a very large, you can't see it, but very large lake over there. Somebody riding a bike here. Be careful. Let's see, are they coming around? They are. And Just go around. Now there's no traffic or anything. Give them a nice wide berth. Anyway, yeah, cool stuff. I'll be very interested. I was saying about winter here. I'm not sure what it'll be like. I have a feeling it will. We're like Denver's 5,000 feet in elevation, and Wyoming, where we lived back there in Casper, was 5,000 feet in elevation. So it'll probably be like that, which means we'll get some snow and it'll come and go. It won't. You'll get piles of it where people have cleared it, shoveled it, and things like that, and it'll stack up, so there will be remnants of snow all over, but I don't expect it to be like driving on snow, which is what we did in Fraser, Colorado, up at the top there, above the mountain. Yeah, let's go this way, why not? That, where we would just drive on the snow, but they were very prepared for it. It wasn't ever like super dangerous, besides the usual like, hey, be careful and slow down, whereas sometimes in Casper, Wyoming, especially after a fresh snowfall, they don't have the time to like get out and plow it just yet. So I'll be very interested to see what it's like here. How well I know that they do keep the city plowed. I'll tell you what I do know of this. I remember hearing nothing for most of it, and then there was like one snowstorm that shut down most of Denver area and things like they had early or late starts for schools, and buses weren't running and things like that because it was just dangerous to go out. They didn't have time to get it fully cleared. I don't think that happens very often. That's the kind of stuff like we would get back in Georgia whenever there was any snow. So any snow at all was enough for them to consider canceling school. Up in Fraser, I think they were, and also in Wyoming, and it probably depends on the school district and the shall we say, stubborn or pig-headed people in charge, principals and whatnot. Stop, here we go. Who are like, no, we will stay open. Like, it was the weird. They have them built into the schedule. It's not like you get that time back, but they were determined. I don't remember. I'm failing to remember. Maybe there was one single instance throughout an entire year, and so for snow season, that's what, like October to May, I think, where there's just constant. I think there was one instance where they did a late start. There was never a skip day. They never did any, like, there was never a, we're just not going to have school today. It was always, I talk about the school a lot, simply because my significant other is a teacher, so that's why I know about it. But anyway, yeah, that would be the kind of thing. I don't know why they pride themselves on that. It doesn't really make any sense to me because, again, they have those days that like in their schedule, they plan out to take days off and then just refuse to take them and go, even though it's snowing, even though it's essentially a blizzard outside, you'll come to school anyway. It's ridiculous to me. I don't understand it at all, but that's not mine to understand. Not my job, not my circus, not my monkeys, I think is the saying. Not my, I can't really think of a good way to turn that around. Not my aviary, not my birds. Is that a good way to make it somewhat related to what I do? Anyway, that's it. I've just been driving around aimlessly. I suppose I will start heading back. I'm kind of checking out. There's a big body of water over here that I'm interested in. I didn't think about putting the GoPro on here so you could see, whereas I just randomly drive around Boulder. But I was using the GoPro on the front of the camera setup today on the rig so that I could just capture however long that was, hour 15, hour and a half. Once I got everything set up and rolling, I did that in the audio so that I could just combine that and just put out a little piece of peaceful, hopefully, content of, here, look at this, just the wide shot from the GoPro of that. But it also would have some, like, camera movement whenever I'm the one, like, I'm still using that, so I bump it, I do that. It's not going to be perfect, and that's, I think, why I would stop. I originally put that attachment on the front to put the GoPro on there so that if I'm sitting there doing that and, like, say something happens and I need a wide shot as well as where I'm getting this close angle, I can just reach up and press record. But then I thought about it, why am I doing that when I could just press record and do a long time lapse of it? Essentially, I used to do those anyway with one of the other cameras that I have, but I set that up entirely, like, separate and off to the side so you don't hear, oh, look at all the hot air balloons. So you don't hear all of my noises as I'm breathing and existing and moving and scratching and looking, quietly whispering to myself, whatever the case may be. But I haven't done that in a good bit. Definitely doing more of just expanding and trying out different things, looking at stuff. So I think that's enough rambling. I will pack it up, head home. Good time out. Got some stuff to do at home as well. Some other things to record this weekend if I can get to it. So we shall see. Anyway, thanks for coming along. Fun time out today. Definitely good stuff. Really excited to look at all the footage there and kind of piece something together. I think I realized while I was there and I was recording, because I started doing it was all kind of far away, nothing super up close for the birds, except for one red-winged blackbird who landed in front. I think I started talking about this. One of the guys who was there who had another camera, he's sitting there, I think he had a bike as well, and he was standing and looking, and all of a sudden a red-winged blackbird comes diving down and then lands on the branch 15 feet ahead of him. And so I just kind of angled the camera over him. I can hear him clicking and clicking as he's getting pictures, and I'm just, doing this and just laying hand. A lot of that stuff isn't there. Yes, there it is. But I can make it over. Anyway, that was about the closest stuff, like, up close, personal type of footage that I really like. The real nice bird fill frame type of thing, which is what I try and strive to do most of. But everything else was kind of further away. But I remembered, I was like, at some point, I said, I don't have to just take all the footage and trim it down to only the interesting parts and be like, here's the best parts of it. I could just take the whole thing and it's bird watching. It's just bird watching footage. That's what I'm doing. I'm watching the birds. So I can just piece all those clips together and just make it bird watching. And all I have to do is, cut here and there of some parts where like the camera's wiggling, or, especially when I go to press record, I use a remote now, so I can more or less set up the whole shot and then hands off and press record remotely instead of hands on camera, because anything on there causes visible shaking, and that doesn't look good to me, and it bothers me, so I cut that stuff out. But anyway, that'll do it for today. That was a fun time out. Good wildlife, good stuff. Different, not the best of spots as far as being undisturbed, being left alone in order to see the wildlife, to view it all. So probably won't be back here until all the construction stuff is done. But I'll be very interested to see what has changed when they open it back up in maybe March. We'll see. It's also interesting that they're going to work through the winter. That tells me that there must not be that much snow down here to the point where it would impede construction in a park. Interesting. Or maybe they work between the snow. I don't know. I'm not a construction worker, so I can't begin to speculate fully with any kind of accuracy as to how they plan on doing that. Well, that's pretty. Nice little water area there. There's a lot of ponds out here, which I didn't expect. Ponds and trees. Very cool. I wonder if that's a park there. Alright. Now I'll wrap it up, even though I've been trying to for several minutes. Until next time. Bye-bye. I don't think I pressed record. I think I just realized I don't think I recorded any audio.